Good afternoon. This is the Board of Appeals, Town of Hempstead, September 4th, 2024, 2 p.m. meeting. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Chairman, do you have any opening remarks?
I do. Many of you have heard them many times before. For those of you who have not appeared before us, the protocol we follow is that we call adjournments first. If there are no adjournments, we get into the calendar, and we will start by calling the renewals, after which we will get into the cases that are not renewals, and no one is asking for an adjournment or an appearance waiver. The hearings are conducted, the applicant presents their case. If there are any objectors, the objectors will be given the opportunity to voice their objections, and then the applicant will be called upon to sum up. The proceedings are archived. We have a court reporter in the room. They are videotaped so that you can refer to them in the future if you so desire. Right? We are not burdened by the strict rules of evidence. This is an administrative body and not a court of law. And we do not accept any evidence or submissions after we close the hearings. Once we close the hearing, it's over. Right, Patrick?
Mr. Chairman, first we have case 55224, Belmore, Chamber of Commerce of the Belmores Incorporated. Amusement rides, special event, duration September 26, 2024 through September 29, 2024 with tents. Rain dates October 24, 2024 through October 27, 2024. Northeast corner of Center Avenue and Sunrise Highway, aka Town of Hempstead parking lots B2, B3, B6, and B7.
What, you don't have one? Oh, I get it.
Gene Judd, President, Chamber of Commerce of the Belmores, 2036 Belmore Avenue, Belmore, New York.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the board. Richard M. Bavone, 308 East Meadow Avenue, East Meadow, appearing as the agent for the Chambers of Commerce of the Belmores, Inc. Again, sitting next to me to the left is Gene Judd, the President of the Chamber of Commerce. Our proposed...
I haven't signed in.
Sorry.
Did you sign in?
No.
I don't believe you did. Dawn, could you have Mr. Judd sign in, please? It's freezing. I push it towards the front. Thank you. Okay.
Continue.
Sorry to interrupt.
Okay. Proposed dates are as follows: Thursday, September 26, 2024, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Friday the 27th, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Saturday the 28th, from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday the 29th, from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. A rain date, if needed, October 24th through the 27th, 2024. Tents will be provided and applications have been filed with the Nassau County Fire Marshal's Office for approval. Town Board has granted the Resolution 794-2024 for the use of parking lots B2, B3, B6, and B7 Center Avenue and Sunrise Highway. Blue Skies Amusements Ltd. will be administering the event for the Chamber of Commerce. There will be no alcohol at this event. All music will cease at 10 p.m. Sanitation will be handled by Blue Sky Amusement. Food services will be handled and approved by the Nassau County Board of Health by approved food vendors. All rides will be inspected by the New York State Department of Labor prior to the opening of the event. Security will be handled also by Blue Sky Amusements LTD. We received a letter yesterday from Lieutenant Boylan of the Nassau County PD First Precinct, which indicates that they have approved the event also. The event has been very successful for many years in this location, and we're requesting an approval to continue this year.
You sound like you've done this before, Mr. Bavone. And I commend you for coming in as early as you have. Ordinarily, we would see this 2 days before
It
the
would
event.
be 2 days before, yes.
Any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would move that case 552 of 2024, the Belmar Chamber of Commerce, special event be approved as requested.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye. Have a nice
Any
celebration.
opposed?
Thank you very much. Have a great
Ben.
day.
No. Okay. Maybe they want, do you want the fan? Do you want the fan? No.
This is a special exception. Yeah. Torah, this is a special exception because it's correct an event temporarily.
Next, we'll be calling case 138724, Wantaw, St. Markella Greek Orthodox Church, erect event tent temporarily from September 12th, 2024 to September 15th, 2024. Rain dates September 19th, 2024 through September 22nd, 2024. West Side Jones Avenue, 248.77 feet south of Park Avenue, also known as Church Parking Lot.
Who signed in on this case?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Reverend Father George Kolios.
Sir, would you mind just speaking up a little? It's hard to hear.
Okay, so I apologize. Mr. Chairman, my name is Reverend Father George Kolios. My address is 1960 Jones Avenue North in Wanta, New York. I'm here for the case 1387 regards our annual festival.
Okay. And that festival you hope to run from September 12th to September 15th?
Correct.
With some rain dates?
Yeah,
The rain dates being the 19th through the 22nd?
correct. Yeah.
Okay, and for that, you need to erect an event temporarily for those days?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Have you had this celebration in the past?
Yes, for many years.
Okay.
For many years.
Okay, and are you planning to have any music at this?
So far, no, we are not planning to have any music. No.
Okay. If you end up having music, you'll need to end it by 10 p.m., okay?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Will there be rides at the celebration?
No, no
Okay.
this year, no
Okay.
mechanical rides. Actually, in the last 3 or 4 years, we don't have mechanical rides at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kinds of things will you have at the
We
celebration?
have only food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe some seating, that's what the tent's for,
Yes,
whatever.
yes, correct.
Sell some things.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have security personnel, like some members of the church who?
Of course, the police department, actually the 7 person was notified by us, and we have plenty of people going around checking with special T-shirts with the word security on. The members of the party council, of course, are present there, and myself, because my house is by the church, so I cannot avoid
You gotta
to
be
not to
far.
be there.
You're gonna
Yeah,
be there whether you want it
yeah,
or not.
of course.
And how about the trash? Do you have sufficient number of trash receptacles?
Yes, of course. Also, the sanitation department was notified by us, and they will provide us with a huge dumpster. And
They pick it up once,
yes,
when needed.
yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would just move that case 1387 of 2024 in Wanta, St. Markella Greek Orthodox Church, temporary celebration be approved as requested.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions?
Have a wonderful celebration.
Thank you so much.
You too.
Luck.
Okay. Next, we have case 55324, Levittown, Loretta Canamello. Renewal of grant to maintain a 6-foot-high fence larger than pool installation area and not permitted in front yard setback on Newbridge Road, also known as 340 Newbridge Road. Mr. Chairman, there is an application for an appearance waiver on this
Got it.
matter.
Okay, well, this is residential. We'll grant the application for an appearance waiver. The building department inspected the premises on June 20th, 2024, and found that all conditions previously imposed by this board have been complied with. Do I have any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would just move that the hearing be closed, that the matter be placed on the decision calendar. The applicant will be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, next case.
Next, we have case 55424, Oceanside, Michael Torado. Renewal of grant to maintain pool and pool deck not permitted in front yard on Messick Avenue and 6-foot and 9-foot-high fence larger than pool installation area and forward dwelling, also known as 279 West Windsor Parkway.
This is also a residential application, and we have an application for an appearance waiver, which we will grant. There's no one appearing. Building department inspected the premises on June 21st, 2024, and they found that all conditions previously imposed by this board have been complied with. Do I have any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
No, he made a motion.
Oh, did you, I'm sorry, John. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Next case.
Next, we have case 55524, West Hempstead, Oscar and Rosa Cornell. Renewal of grant to maintain a 6-foot-high fence not permitted in front yard on Maple Street, also known as 402 Maple Street. Mr. Chairman, there's also an application for appearance waiver on this item as well.
Again, a residential matter, and we will grant the application for an appearance waiver. The building department inspected the premises July 2nd, 2024, and they found that all conditions previously imposed by the board have been complied with. Do I have any other questions? If not, do I have a motion?
Move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. The applicant will be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions?
Next, we have case 55624, Near Valley Stream, Marjorie Richards and Yvonne Richards. Renewal of grant to maintain 2-family dwelling, also known as 35 Sobro Avenue.
Do we have anyone here on this? Step up, please.
My name is Marjorie Richards, and I live at 35 Sobro Avenue in Valley Stream, 11580.
Okay.
You're
And-
here.
and-
Go ahead.
You're here to renew a grant to maintain a 2-family dwelling, is that
Yes,
correct?
Yes, I am.
The building department inspected the premises on June 25th, 2024, and they also found that all conditions previously imposed by the board have again been complied with. Do you have anything else you'd like to add, ma'am?
No,
Okay. Any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move that the hearing be closed, that the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You will get notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered. Okay?
Second? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Good job. Have a nice day.
Next, we're calling case 70623, West Hempstead Chameleon Event Space, renewal of grant to use premises for place of public assembly and amusement, cabaret, live music, and dancing, also known as 510 through 516 Hempstead Turnpike.
706. I told them to call that
Wait a minute, which one is this?
Page 3. I'll show you. It's the, hold on, 706. It's restored to the two-o'clock candle, but it's a renewal.
Gilad, G-I-L-A-D, Aldad,
Oh, yeah.
A-L-D-A-D, 510 Hempstead Turnpike, Suite 209, West Hempstead, New York, 11552. Good afternoon,
Good
Chairman.
afternoon. She's ahead of herself.
Behind.
So if you recall, this is a renewal. Last time we were here, Chairman requested a parking plot, which was submitted. The actual capacity of the center, the capacity of the venue was 510 people, and today the capacity is 263. For the record, this is not a cabaret open to the public. This is an event space for social and corporate events, such as sweet 16s, baby showers, and any private functions to be rented out.
And you're filing the,
Yep.
council reminded us that you're going to be filing for the parking
Parking
relief
separately.
separately.
Correct, under Aldred and Sons Realty, the ownership of the property.
All right, we had previously heard testimony on this case.
They comply.
Yeah, they
And the
comply.
building department's compliance.
Right. Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You will be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second? All in favor?
Aye. Have a nice day.
Have a wonderful day.
Okay, back to school.
Next, we have case 557 of 24, Belmore, Alfonso, and Milan Nagai Marino. Renewal of grant to maintain 5-foot-high fence forward of the dwelling which may substantially obstruct line of sight, also known as 2877 Alder Road. Mr. Chairman, we have an application for an appearance waiver.
Okay, we're going to grant the application for an appearance waiver on this residential piece of property. Building Department inspected the premises on June 17, 2024, and found that all conditions previously imposed by the board have been complied with. Do I have any other questions? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. The applicant will be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next case.
Next, we have case 55824, East Meadow, Turnpike Food Corporation doing business as Grand Stage Diner. Renewal of grant to maintain one double-face illuminated detached sign, overall height 17 feet and setback 10 feet from Hempstead Turnpike, Grand Stage sign, also known as 2490 Hempstead Turnpike. Mr. Pavone, I have you sworn in from earlier, just your name and address for the record.
Richard M. Pavone, 308 East Meadow Avenue, East Meadow, appearing as the agent for Turnpike Food Corp., DBA Grand Stage Diner, located at 2490 Hempstead Turnpike in East Meadow, requesting a renewal of an existing sign. It's been there for years.
Good afternoon again, Mr. Pavone.
That's it. It's been there,
Right.
same sign, has not changed.
Building Department inspected the sign on July the 1st of 2024 and found that all previously imposed conditions by this board were being complied with. Have anything else you'd like to add? I doubt it.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar.
I second.
Mr. Pavone, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
He already seconded it. Seconded again. Seconded.
seconded
For a
again.
second time.
I was waiting for you to say all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Welcome. You too, Mr. Pavone.
Next, we have case 55924, near Island Park, 128F Realty Corporation. Renewal of grant to maintain double-face illuminated detached ground sign with price sign thereon, 65 square feet per face and overall size 130 square feet, and overall height 20 feet and not expressly permitted in GSS district, also known as 3980 Austin Boulevard. Stand. Raise your right hand. Swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. State your name and address for the record.
Hello, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Dan Plant for 128F Realty. Address is 1108 Route 110, Farmingdale. We're seeking the renewal of the variance approved in 2019 for our D sign. Kevin O'Brien was our attorney when we used the original application.
The board inspected the premises on June 18, 2024, and found that you're in compliance with all conditions previously imposed by this board. Do I have any other comments or questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Plant, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you very much.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have cases 56024 through 56324. Elmont Delight Long Island LLC, doing business as Wendy's Properties LLC. Renewal of grants, maintain second illuminated detached sign not permitted, menu board, in conjunction with drive-through window, overall size 50 feet and 55.88 square feet. Maintain third illuminated detached sign not permitted, preview board, in conjunction with drive-through window. Maintain 2 illuminated directional signs, Wendy's logo not permitted. At entrance of parking lot, drive-through, maintain 2 illuminated directional signs, Wendy's logo not permitted. At exit of parking lot, drive-through, also known as 199 Hempstead Turnpike.
Hello, my name is Jacob Poat. My address is 834 Roosevelt Street in West Hempstead, New York.
Good afternoon, sir. The building department inspected these premises on July 3rd of 2024, and they found that all conditions previously imposed by the board have been complied with. Do you have anything you'd like to add? Okay. Do I have any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Howat, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Somebody out.
So I was like, okay. You know? Just before my case.
I've been there a couple of times, but my clients can't afford to pay me to go there. Take appeals. Okay.
Ready?
Where were we, Patrick?
Okay.
When we were so rudely interrupted?
Next, we have cases 564-24 through 566-24, Levittown. Michael and Doreen Harold. Mother-daughter residence, second kitchen. Special exception to maintain second accessory structure, shed with less than required side yard setback and lot area occupied variance. Special exception to maintain third accessory structure, pavilion higher and larger than permitted and exceeding horizontal maximum with lot area occupied variance. Also known as 5 Tower Lane.
Twins.
Michael and Doreen Harold, 5 Tower Lane, Levittown, New York, 11756.
Afternoon.
Brian Harold, 5 Tower Lane.
So I'm sorry, say your name again? Brian Harold. Okay, you want to say your address? She just has to. 5 Tower Lane,
Kurt Jacobs, architect, 201 Northwest Drive, Farmingdale, New York.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
After this harrowing experience outside.
Mr.
I had you
Chairman,
covered. Had you covered.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, Michael and Doreen Harold has asked me to appear before you with their variance request. We are seeking a mother-daughter use variance. Michael Harold and his wife will occupy the primary residence on the first floor. Their son Brian Harold and daughter-in-law
Go ahead.
Lauren Harold will be in the secondary housekeeping unit on the second floor. The board should have a letter in their possession as,
You have to use the microphone, Mr. Jacobs.
the board should have a letter in their possession regarding the absence of Lauren Harold. If not, I have a copy.
Is
We
that-
have it. We have it.
You got it, okay.
John, will you hand? We gotta have him alter.
The Harolds have owned the house since 1987 and have had no problems with any of the neighbors.
could find the BAR.
As I said, they have owned the house since 1987, never had any problems with the neighbors. Michael Harold is very well known in the area because he's the chief of the Levittown Fire Department. Okay. There will be 4 cars at the property. 2 will be parked in the driveway and 2 on the street. The owners are aware of the requirements: 1 doorbell, 1 electric meter, 1 common entrance. We are also maintaining the existing accessory structures. A 7x7 vinyl shed with a 1.3-foot side yard setback with 2-foot required. This is next to another 7x7 vinyl shed that's permitted.
Hold on, I missed that, the side yard on that shed.
1.3 feet with
Is it-
2 feet required.
It's a corner lot?
No.
Oh, okay, so at least 2.
Okay. As you know, Mr. Levitt built all these houses without basements, so storage is at a premium. We have another accessory structure. That's a wood frame pavilion, and you should have pictures of all these items in your file.
We do. How high is it? It's higher and
The
larger.
wood- The pavilion is 11 foot 6 inches high at the ridge with 9-foot maximum. It's not a constant 11 foot 6 height because the roof slopes down. It also exceeds the 12-foot maximum length, and this is 14 foot 6 inches. We would condition that the pavilion would not be enclosed. That the pavilion is also screened on the west side by a 1-story rear addition that was built in 1962. The accessory structures increase the lot coverage to 31.93% with 30% maximum allowed. On behalf of the Heralds, we respectfully request the granting of these variances. Thank
Okay,
you.
Mr. Jacobs, you also were denied for larger on that pavilion. Obviously, 144 is allowed. Your grid here says that your proposal is 153. Is that I just want to put it on the transcript. Did you already ask him if he told them all the conditions?
Yes.
Okay, and then, just quickly, again, I need to put this on the record. In every mother-daughter immediate family application, the Board of Architectural Review reviews them to make sure that they are easily converted into a mother-daughter for that use, and thereafter, upon the cessation of the use, easily restorable to a single-family residence. And then they often make recommendations, which we'd like to usually get your input on. However, in your case, they've determined that it is in fact appropriate for this use, it is restorable, and they have no other conditions that you must comply with in order to use it in that fashion.
Your clients are aware that there are 2 open building permits, one involving the installation of a gas direct vent
That
fireplace.
will
They're going to be
taken
closed
care of.
out?
That will be taken care of with all these other permits.
And I'm sorry if we already went over this. You explained to your clients that this is if this is granted, it's personal to them, and that upon this ceasing using it that way, it needs to be restored back. It's not transferable to the next person unless they actually apply on their own for it.
Correct.
Did the one doorbell. Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Jacobs, you and your clients who have signed in all will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered. Thank you all and have a nice day.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Next, we have cases 56724 through 56924. Merrick, Kevin, and Donna Neely. Variances: lot area occupied, rear yard, maintained deck attached dwelling. Variance: lot area occupied, maintained shed. Variance: side yard, maintained 3 AC units attached dwelling, also known as 30 Buckingham Road.
Yes, I do. Hugh Schaefer, 7 Forest Avenue, Massapequa, New York, appearing for the applicant, Kevin and Donna Neely. Good afternoon, members of the board, Mr. Chairman. We're here this afternoon, this case for lot area occupied, side yard aggregate to maintain the deck. Well, the hot tub has been removed, so that'll be modified. The deck is still there, and the hot tub, after being removed, was filled in, and the fence has still been filed for the application with the hot tub. That is not before the board. The lot area occupied, which we're addressing, I'd like you to look at the radius maps that we submitted, and you'll see that this area was developed in 1935 on all substandard properties of 40 and 50 by 100. So based on the current requirements for Residence B, for lot area occupied to be maintained at 27.5%, it would be impossible. With all these substandard lots, it's about almost 100%, they're all substandard. There's only a couple of them on the entire map that are over the 50 by 100. So any minor construction that would be done, even when the house was built originally in 1935, along with all the other houses, would exceed that requirement of today with 27.5%. The wood deck was built by some local contractor in 2008, where the contractor probably assumed a 5-foot rear yard was required. It's 4.65. You actually measure it, he measured it at 6 foot from the rear property line. The deck is only 3 feet above the ground. There's no hot tub, it was removed. There was delays by the building department because they thought the hot tub weighed 2,000 pounds because the water was on the ground, not in the hot tub. So
I'm sorry, Mr. Schaefer. You said that the materials show 4.65, but that your clients measured it, and it's actually 6 feet.
I didn't understand. Say again.
Did I hear you correctly tell us that your client measured the rear yard setback, and he found it to be 6 feet versus the 4.65 shown?
4.65 would be what we have. So we don't have the rear yard that's required. We have a side yard that's required, but we don't have side yard aggregate, which is shown here as 13.28, where the required side yard in B zone is 15. So we're looking for relief that as well.
Wait, so you want to add a request to this for a side yard aggregate in addition to?
Yes, well, let's add that to it. But the big item here is the lot area occupied being 37% rather than the 27.5, which would be impossible because every property in this location, any improvement that would be made would exceed the 27.5% upstanding.
Okay, Mr. Schaefer, just so I can make up a record for a moment. So, given the fact that the side yards that you're requesting are accurately on the materials that have been on file for 30 days, so despite the fact that it wasn't on the, technically wasn't on the notice, the side yard that's smaller than required was in fact advertised, and all the other materials displayed on file accurately reflected the side yard aggregate that you are here requesting today. So there's no notice issue really affected by the fact that if we are to go ahead and amend the caption for side yard aggregate. I just need to make that record.
That's correct.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Anyway, the Neelys are looking to legalize this. It's been going on for years. It was originally filed by others. There's been errors and errors. It was delayed through the COVID, and then I took over the job and we did a new plot plan showing the hot tub was on the ground, and then later on it was removed. So there's no longer a hot tub. And maybe the building department, they would get the approval from the board, would probably just amend the application saying maintain the fence and not the hot tub because it's no longer there. And that would complete all applications.
I don't see the hot tub on mine, so that might not even need an amendment.
No, it was removed. And that wouldn't be part of the lot coverage anyway, but it was on the deck and it was removed.
No. So the rear yard, we're going to approve the rear yard at 4.65, right? Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would just move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Schaefer, you and your client will both receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered.
Thank you.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have case
You too.
Next, we have case 570-24, Elmont, Muriel Jumet, doing business as Elmont Career Center. Special exception for place of public assembly and amusement, waive off-street parking, proposed trade school in portion of existing building, also known as 475 through 479 Hempstead Turnpike.
All right, good afternoon, Chairman, members, Christian Brown, McLaughlin and Stern, 1122 Franklin Avenue, Garden City, appearing for the applicant.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mireille Jumeau, M-I-R-E-I-L-L-E, J-U-M-E-A-U. Address is 475 to 479 Suite C, Hempstead Turnpike, Elmont, New York, 11003.
This is an application by Ms. Jimu to open a small training facility, AKA a trade school, for the training of home health aides and certified nursing assistants, both of whom are subject to various training requirements by New York State. And this facility would provide the in-class lecture time essentially required for those individuals to receive their state certificate and license. So it's proposed to go into an existing old strip of stores, commercial strip along Hempstead Turnpike at 479 Hempstead Turnpike in Elmont. Her space is 2,276 square feet. Unfortunately, she doesn't fall into a as-of-right category. It's not a retail store and so forth, so she needs special permission to have this training facility, and she's eager to open up. She has students who are eager to enroll, and so we're hoping to get your approval as quickly as possible. So essentially, Ms. Jamu is the owner and operator and the instructor, and she's the only person to perform those duties. The school would operate Monday through Friday in two separate sessions. The first session lasts from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and the second session lasts from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. So each enrolled class is required to complete 5 hours over a 4-week period. So you will have between 10 to 15 people in a session. They will be the only people on site while that session is taking place. They attend the class on a daily basis for the 4-week period. So you're either in the 9 o'clock class or the 4 o'clock class. You receive your training, and then you go on to hopefully receive your license or certificate. So the only people who will be in this facility when it is operating are the students and the instructor. So you're talking about 15 to 16 people. There's no coming and going. It's one class, for the 5 hours, then there's a break, and then there's a second class that comes in for the evening session. It's Monday to Friday. It will not operate on the weekends. There's nothing else that goes on the site besides the lecture and some, basic practical demonstrations, for example, how to put on a blood pressure cuff, but nobody's doing any kind of surgery or advanced medical procedures on the site. That's the use. That's all there is to the use. There's a second application for a waiver of off-street parking because this is an old site, was built with no parking, but directly around the corner on Elmont Road, there is a very large Town of Hempstead parking lot that's accessible and services these stores. Again, we're only talking about one group of students, 10 to 15 people at the most, who would be there for the session and then would leave.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
What was this prior to this? And so I have some idea
it was
what successfully functioned there without the parking.
What was your predecessor in the space?
I'm not sure what it was, probably what a mailing business.
A mail house type of business? It's been vacant for some period of time?
But it successfully functioned, presumably.
Well,
with
it
the
did.
restaurant
and
that's there. And
there's a restaurant, there's a hair salon, there is a variety of small retail and type uses there. And I didn't think it was necessary to incur the expense of a traffic study here for something like this, but we did take photographs of the parking lot. And Ms. Jamu can give you some testimony because she's already there doing office work. She's there all the time, so she can tell you what the parking conditions are like. But we have photographs taken on August 1st, August 6th, August 7th, August 8th, August 12th, August 13th, August 15th, August 16th, August 20th, August 24th, August 26th, all at different times of the day. And you will see that on all of these photographs, the conditions in this very large public lot show that it is approximately a quarter full. And I think that gives you a pretty fair depiction of the parking demand there. So it's quite minimal. The parking is either 6 hours or unrestricted, depending on which part of the parking lot you function in. And again, unlike, say, a traditional retail store where people could be coming and going or coming at the same time, this is all by one session, max of 15 students. They're there for the duration, then a second session comes in and the same conditions obtained. It's not open on the weekends. So it's really a rather de minimis traffic and parking demand.
Okay, so can we just go through the numbers? Because if we are inclined to grant it, we have to know the number we're granting for the next, it runs with it. So.
It's just a full waiver, Mrs. D'Amato. I don't think this...
I know, but we have to know how much we waive, how many spots we waive. Because
I don't think it ever had a parking requirement because it was built prior to 1957. I don't believe it.
It must because we have it before us. I just want to go through, first of all, I'm looking at your calculations. Right. So it says, the first part says building use. I assume that's
right.
The entire building?
Yeah, it's the entire lot is 10,000 square feet.
Okay, wait. No, it's not the entire. So the building use, it must be hers because one parking space for each 2 students. There's 61 students. That's 30.5. One space for each employee, 10 employees. That's 10 spots.
Right. Well, we only have one employee. I don't know where they got those numbers.
Because if we grant the variance,
right,
it actually matters how many it is because later in time, if she moves to a bigger location, the building department keeps that number and that determines if the next person has to come. So I just want to pin down the number.
Well, the space that we are in is 2,276 square feet. So as a retail use, it would be 22 spaces. I'm not sure they attached an exact, it's part of a strip center, which I think was built prior to the parking requirement. So if you're a retail use, you're just going in as of right. Because this is not a retail use, they're requiring us to get a further waiver from parking.
I know, we just need to know what the number is, because it's actually,
So if it was a retail use, it would be 22 spaces.
well, okay, here, Building 479, Business or Trade Vocational School. So for starters, she doesn't have 10 employees.
No, we
She
only
has
have one
She has
employee.
one.
So that's one space. Does she have 61 students?
No, it'll be capped at 15 students per session, correct?
Yes.
So that's 8 plus 1. That's 9. So then it goes through the existing commercial office first floor. That's apparently 1652 square feet. That looks like it needs 8. Area B on the commercial needs 4.45. Existing commercial office is on the second floor, it's Area C. That needs 5.17. And the storage in the rear lot, which they're calling just storage, needs 2.78. So this says the total parking required for the commercial office is 21, and then it goes down and does for the hair salon and the existing restaurant. Those apparently require 27. So it claims the total needed here is 88 and 0 provided. But I guess then our consideration needs to adjust. We'll keep those numbers as they are and assume yours needs 9. Does that make sense?
That would be, yes, based upon the trade calculation.
All right, so we'll calculate it when we deliberate so that we know if we grant
I
it,
understand.
what's granted.
Right.
You know, it has to have a numbered.
I understand, and it's one of these where these were all built prior with no parking
Yeah, I
and so
mean,
forth, so.
probably should just have, it should just be grandfathered in since it was before 57 or whatever.
And if it were a permitted retail use, it would be grandfathered in. It's only because it falls in this other category.
Odd.
Because we need a special exception for the use. So that's all there is, unless you have anything to add. I know that this has been going on for a while. We did thank you. The board granted an expedited request here because there is a demand for, these aspiring nurses to get trained, and we would like to open up as soon as possible to meet that demand, and we'd appreciate your further consideration. And I'm going to hand in the photographs so you get a full sense over the course of the last month of what the parking lot conditions are like.
We'll take those into evidence.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Brown, you and your client will both receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered.
Thank you very much.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have case 57124, North Belmore, Judith Robinson. Variances, lot area occupied, side yards aggregate, maintain rear masonry terrace attached to dwelling, also known as 868 Genie Court. Ms. Jacobs, we have you sworn from earlier, just your name and address again for the record.
Well, Mr. Jacobs, since Mr. Pellegrini's not here, I will comment on your orange shirt, which you always wear orange appearing before us.
Thank you. It's very important.
Yes.
Kurt Jacobs, Architect, 201 Northwest Drive, Farmingdale, New York. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Mr. Jacobs, could you please speak into the microphone?
571.
Judith Robinson has asked me to appear before you with a variance request. She has lived in the house for 4 years, and the rear brick raised porch was in existence when she purchased the house. The porch has an aggregate side yard of 14.6 feet with 15 foot required. Actually, the building department makes you measure the side yard from the house, and as you face the porch from the rear, the left side off the property line really has nothing to do with the terrace. So even though the aggregate is 14.6 feet, it should be a lot more, because we feel that the building department is incorrect in that premise. The lot coverage with the porch is 31.7% with 27.5% maximum allowed. I handed in a couple of photos. One is where the porch is closest to the side yard, and it shows screening there, and behind the screening is the neighbor's garage. On August 27th, we received an email from the owner stating that the neighbors had no issues. On behalf of Mrs. Robinson, we request the granting of this variance. Thank you. There's only 2 side yard neighbors, by the way, because the rear yard of the house is abutting on Old Britain Road. All those houses up in the front abuts on the road, and in the rear, so there's no rear yard neighbor whatsoever.
Mr. Jacobs, on your zoning chart of the numbers, applicable numbers, you've indicated that the side yard aggregate variance that you need is from 15, because you have 14.6, so it's very de minimis. However, on your side yards, you note them here as 5 and 7.5. Oh. Oh, you're right. Well, because you have 7.1.
And 7.5 on
Yeah.
the survey.
Okay. That's all I wanted to do, is you'd have more than, it said, where I read that it said 5, and I thought it was your side yard. You have greater than that. So the 14.6 is
Right.
accurate.
It should be much more than that, but we'll go with that.
Yeah, it's de minimis.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Jacobs, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you.
Aye.
Next, we have cases 572 of 24 through 573 of 24, Elmont, John Olwinia and Blanca Keen, variance, height, maintain dwelling, special exception to maintain accessory structure cabana with outdoor kitchen and roof over concrete patio, higher and larger than permitted and exceeding horizontal maximum on all sides, also known as 325 Lucille Avenue. Mr. Brown, we have you sworn in from before.
Good afternoon again, Christian Brown, McLaughlin and Stern, 1122 Franklin Avenue, Garden City.
Good afternoon. My name is Blanca King, and I live in 325 Lucille Avenue, Elmo.
All right, this is a case that involves the construction of a new house. This site was before the board a couple of years ago, at which time the board granted a subdivision to allow the construction of 2 new homes on what was formerly, I guess it was a 100 by 100 parcel, and these are on 250s. So the applicant, Mr. Alonia, this is his wife, built the 2 new homes. He sold one house, which is not the house that's before you, and he lives in the house that is before you. The houses as proposed were 30 feet in compliance with the height requirement. When this house was completed and prior to receiving its CO, Mr. Alonia called for the final inspection. They came and took the final inspection, and the building department determined that the house was 30 feet 8 inches, not 30 feet. I've spoken with Mr. Olonia, who was the developer, obviously, but not the contractor, as well as his architect, Emilio Souza. Ms. Lourdes Keynes is here as well. They were not supervising the work on a daily basis. They hired a contractor, built the house. So it's not exactly clear where the miscalculation came from, whether it was that the foundation was installed a couple of inches too high or that the framing was done incorrectly. But in the end, we're left with a house that, to the peak, as you can see on the plans, there's a part of the roof that is juts out a little bit more. It's a little bit higher, and that peaked area brings us to 8 inches over the height limit.
Wait, Mr. Brown,
Yes.
the other house got built right, but not the guy who kept the house.
It's the same exact house. I believe it was built by the same contractor. Is that correct? They were both built by the same contractor. They're the same exact design. The house next door, so to speak, that was sold passed at 30 feet. This house, upon the final calculations, came out to be 8 inches over, although the houses from the street look exactly identical. And again, with apologies, I can't make any certain factual representations to you about how the 8 inches came to be missed. Nothing was stopped or missed during the construction. It was only after the entire construction was completed and prior to the issuance of the certificate of occupancy that the extra 8 inches was detected. They have the exact same roof pitch. So it's either a matter of the foundation being placed a couple of inches too high, or it's also possible, based on my discussions with the architect, that different beams may have been used in the framing that were slightly larger and added a couple of inches onto the overall height. I don't believe so. It's a completely finished house. They're living in it now. And there is a basement. So I don't know exactly if it's possible to measure exactly how high the foundation is. I don't know. Well, the architect these elevations and so forth that are before you were done after the issue was detected, so you can see how he shows you the 8 inches, and the ceiling heights are 8'10", which was what was called for, correct?
Yeah.
Drawings I'm looking at are the ones drawn after. Do we have the ones that were what it was supposed to look like and be built?
I don't know if that's in your file, but in other words, when this was detected, they made him come back out and, show the existing conditions.
We'll have the original approved drawings in our. No, I don't need them right now, but we'll have them, right? You want them?
But yes, they do exist in your file.
Okay.
So you can see. And again, I spoke to him this morning. He confirmed that the house was shown at 30 feet. He did not supervise the construction. There was a framing inspection. I'm not blaming anybody, but at the time, nothing was detected as off.
Maybe it was done some things get changed after inspection.
It's possible, and I don't know whether at the framing inspection they shot the height of the house at that point. I don't know.
This is kind of a heavy lift because of the precedential value. We start,
I totally understand.
50 guys are going to do it. Get it at 30, go and build it. Oh, it's already built.
I totally understand.
We don't know who made the mistake.
I totally understand. It's one of those unfortunate situations where you have a small discrepancy But it is a discrepancy, and it is after the fact, so I recognize that it puts the board in an awkward position, and your concerns are well-founded and are commonly held by zoning boards. You know, we're not, how we can identify, even if we could identify, you know, oh, so-and-so made the mistake, I'm not sure it would change the situation very much. It's an 8-inch discrepancy. Obviously, an error was made. They're now living in the house. It would be a substantial hardship they'd have to take the roof off and flatten out the top of the roof. So you're talking about, you know, north of $50,000 of work, and some structural beams would have to be removed to do that. So it would be a hardship, but I recognize I recognize that you don't want to set a precedent where people make these mistakes and it just gets absolved. I understand that.
Yeah, that's...
Nonetheless, it is less than a foot, and the other house passed. They're exactly the same. It's hard to understand how this came out off, but it did, unfortunately. And so we're faced with this dilemma that, you know, you're asked to weigh. And again, I understand the caveats that would have to be put into the decision, but...
Do the houses have exterior cellar entrances?
I don't believe so. Do you have a separate entrance into your basement?
No.
No, I believe that was also, you know, prohibited by the board. This was not that long ago. This subdivision was probably granted
Less than 2 years.
Yeah, about 2 years ago, I would say. I did the case, and there were no issues. In fact, we have a couple of, you know, consent letters from the neighbors. But I wish I had a better explanation, but it is difficult after the fact to figure out who made a mistake of 8 inches after the house is completely completed.
It's not just the proceedings here, but court proceedings on 78s. We've had judges who, if we grant one deviation,
I understand.
hold it against us on every house, so it's...
I understand. And I'm obviously, each case is distinguishable by
Yes.
the degree of the mistake made, and, you know...
Agreed.
You are permitted, under certain circumstances, I believe, to take into account, you know, bad faith or...
Yes.
an attempt to bamboozle the board. Obviously, the owner gains nothing by having an additional 8 inches of house.
Right.
You know.
Unfortunately, there's at least one judge who isn't capable of that level of inquiry and intelligence, so we always have to deal with that, too.
I'm aware of the situation in the courts. But I don't know whether, you know, having spoken to the owner and the architect, short of, you know, bringing in the contractor for an interrogation, I'm not sure what else would, and again, you know, we're stuck with this situation regardless, and the hardship will fall on the owner to correct the mistake that was either made in the foundation or in the framing, and was obviously not caught during the construction. It's only caught at the very end.
And the height of this house is judged from the crown, right?
It's judged from the crown. You have precise elevations in your packet.
Right, and is there any indication that the crown relative to the roof is any different on the two parcels from one another?
Not that I can tell. The crown and the grade are virtually identical, and I don't see any sloping or difference in the grade of the two properties. Is that accurate?
Yeah, you can really see it, the difference between the two houses, like if it's one or
But there's no difference in the grade of the two properties, correct?
Oh, no.
No. Yeah, they're the same. I mean, they were one parcel, so no, that doesn't, it doesn't explain why one house came out at 30 and one house came out at 30 feet 8 inches, except for someone's, you know, made a mistake.
I'm sure one or more of us will come out and take a look at it. We do that regularly.
And
so-
you're welcome to do that, obviously.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe they do look identical.
Any other questions? from
Well,
the
there's
board?
one more. There, also, the owner added a backyard barbecue cabana, which is higher and larger and needs to be
Okay.
legalized. This structure is 315 square feet total. It's a shed with a barbecue attached to it.
Yes.
So there's
Wait,
storage.
Is that the
and-
one that we have as a cabana?
Yes,
Yeah.
they're calling it a cabana. So the total structure is 315 square feet. It's 12 feet high. It's 15 by 21, and that exceeds the requirements are 144 square feet, 9 feet high, and the horizontal is limited to 12.
So is it, it says exceeding horizontal max on all sides, rather than saying on 4. So I just want to confirm, it's a rectangle.
Yeah, it's
not,
15 by
you know, some
21.
of them
Yeah,
are-
exactly. No, it's a rectangular, 15 by 21. It's for storage, and it has an outside, an amenity in the backyard for a barbecue. It does meet all the setbacks. It doesn't put us over lot coverage, and the neighbors on either side have consented.
Do your clients have a dog? Because somebody will go out and look at it.
Do you have a dog?
No, we don't have.
Okay. We'll ring the doorbell just to make sure that you're aware that someone from the board is coming to look.
The members of the board are going to come to the property to inspect it, and they'll ring your doorbell to let you know that they're there on the property, okay?
Okay.
Okay? Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Brown, you and your client will both receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered.
Second,
Thank you very much.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any
Thank you.
opposed?
Next, we have case 57424, Merrick, Temple Bethel, Temple Bethlehem, the Reformed Jewish Congregation of America in Belmore Incorporated. Maintain one double-face detached illuminated reader board sign not permitted, also known as 2377 Merrick Avenue.
Is this afternoon only too?
My name is Lori Bacadoro. I live at 100 Byron Road, Merrick, New York, 11566.
Is it morning only?
Rabbi Michael Baum, B-A-U-M, 2 Richmond Road, apartment 2, N as in Nancy, Lido Beach, New York, 11561.
What? Hmm? Oh, okay. Okay. Tell us.
Okay. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm Lori Bacadoro. I'm a member of Temple Beth Am. This is Rabbi Michael Baum, our rabbi. We have come to request permission to install an illuminated sign. The sign itself did
Wait,
not...
install? Because we have
Well,
it as a maintain.
Yeah.
Maintain. The sign itself
4 feet.
conforms with zoning. It
Correct.
didn't require a permit. What requires the permit is the changeable writing, the changeable copy, because the screen can change and give the registration hours, the temple services, such like that. Just like all the neighbors down the block, Curia of ours is an adjacent neighbor on that same block, as is St. Thomas Church across the street.
When you say it changes or is animated, does it just allow you to change the stationary thing, or does it go did when it's showing it? Like, does the
It's
message move by?
Digital, everything now is LED digital Wi-Fi. So Rabbi has in the office the computer connection to it, and he'll put registration now open. But no, it doesn't ticker.
Right, that's what I'm
Right,
asking.
no, it
So
doesn't ticker.
He's able to change it. Now, how often does it, even though it doesn't move ticker, if he has 2 different messages that he wants on there, so he wants to display registration now open, and then he also wants to display, let's say, the hours of the services, does it have the ability to switch like every 5 minutes back and forth?
It can switch at my discretion. I can set it for 1 second, I can set it for an hour or higher.
So
It's
can you-
one of those signs.
All right, so that's what I was getting at. So can you, how often, usually we try to ascertain how often you want it to switch and sort of ferret out an agreeable amount. because we don't want it to switch so fast that it becomes a safety distraction. So how often do you anticipate wanting it to automatically switch like this? You know, like this message is on for 5 minutes and then that one is on, or?
Judging by what our neighbors have been doing, it's anywhere from 45 seconds to 2 minutes. We're trying to comply with what, like Lori said, Curé of ours does, what Martoma Church does. So we're trying to figure out what they're doing, but we were anticipating 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes a sign.
Okay, because you don't want it too quick. You understand?
Yeah,
If I'm right,
it should
you
be
read
there
the
long
message
enough to
and it goes away,
read.
then I'm-
I don't want to be
you
distracting
can't
any of
read.
the drivers on the road. That's why we're thinking 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, because if anyone's driving really slow, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, Merrick Avenue has a different problem.
You think so? All right, we will, when we deliberate, now that we know what you'd like it to be, we'll figure out what makes sense safety-wise.
Sure, whatever your
Whether
recommendation.
it's 2 minutes instead of,
Whatever your recommendations are.
great, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the board? Not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Each of you will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered.
Great. Thank you so
Second.
much.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Next, we have case 57524, Woodmere, Heath and Michelle Zimmerman. Variances, lot area occupied, and side yards aggregate. Construct a 2.5-story addition attached dwelling, also known as 599 Church Avenue.
Okay. Faster, faster.
Dominic Minerva, Minerva and D'Agostino, 107 South Central Avenue, Valley Stream, New York, attorney for the applicant.
Yeah.
They're completing the form.
Heath Zimmerman, 599 Church Avenue.
Michelle Zimmerman, 599 Church Avenue.
The application before you today is for area variances to construct a 2.5-story addition to the existing dwelling. Subject premises is known as 599 Church Avenue in Woodmere. It's also known as Section 39, Block 153, tax lots 56 through 58 on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. The variances required are for lot area occupied with 27.5% required and 33.71% proposed, and side yard aggregate with 15 feet required and 10.6 feet proposed to be provided. I would note, though, that each side yard meets the individual requirements. I would also note that the existing side yard aggregate is 10.6 feet, so the addition is in line with the existing side yards, and the existing lot coverage is 35.14%, which is the subject of a prior variance, although the previous variance included deck area, a portion of which will now be living space, but nevertheless results in a reduction of the overall lot coverage from the prior variances on this premises. The applicants, Mr. and Mrs. Zimmerman, have resided in the house for approximately 18 years. They live there with their 3 children. They love their neighborhood and community, and they don't want to move. And actually, renovating this house is the most cost-effective option to have a bigger house in this community. We have a petition to submit from the neighbors that consented to the granting of the requested variances, which I'll submit with a marked-up radius map. This includes the neighbors on both sides of the subject premises and the neighbor directly across the street.
We'll accept that in evidence.
Thank you. Okay, just want to also note some similar variances that have been granted for properties that are depicted on the radius map. I have 4 of them. There were more than 4 that had the lot area occupied variances, but there were a few that were deck only, so I excluded those. So the ones that were for additions were 599 Bernard Avenue, 38.4%, 584 Bernard Avenue, 34.8%, 608 Bernard Avenue, 31.7%, and 598 Church Avenue across the street, 38.7%. I have the decisions and the approved plans, which I'd like to submit as an exhibit, along with the prior variance and approved plan for the subject premises.
We'll accept those as well.
Lastly, I would note that the variances are minor in nature. Proposals in keeping with the character of the area and other similar variances will not be detrimental to surrounding properties and rather will only be an improvement to this area. And we request your favorable consideration and remain available for any questions the board may have.
Any questions? No. Do I have a motion?
The hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Minerva, you and your clients will be notified by mail the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Stephanie, you okay?
Next, we have case 37724, Oceanside, Fernando Canari. Use variance to maintain two-family dwelling, also known as 3204 Brower Avenue.
This is a use. This is maintained?
Fernando Canary, 3204 Brower Avenue, Oceanside, New York, 11572.
Good afternoon. My name is Melissa Graham. I'm from Long Island Perfect Permits. We are located at 124 Front Street, Massapequa Park, 11762, and I'm the agent who's representing Fernando Canary. He's the owner of 3204 Brower Avenue in Oceanside, Section 54, Block 447, Lot 133. The application was filed to maintain a two-family dwelling. My client purchased the home in 2019. He was not aware that the two-family approval expired in 2013 and that he needed to refile the application. My client lives in the dwelling and rents the other unit to his aunt. The lot can accommodate 4 off-street parking spots. We did receive several calls from the surrounding neighbors once the notices went out, that no one had any objections to the variances being granted.
What did they call about, just to say?
They just called to find out what it was about, and we told them it was for two-family use, you know, for Fernando and his aunt, and they all said they didn't have any issues with Fernando or his aunt, so they had no issues with the variances being granted.
So you said that this is a use variance, so we need to make a sufficient record of what we're deliberating on. You said that it was previously approved as a two-family.
Correct, in 2013.
Oh, in 2013, so just not that long ago. And he's owned it, I'm sorry, how long?
Since 2019. When he bought the house, he bought it as a two-family. They didn't explain correctly to him that it was a use permit and it expired, so he bought it assuming that him and his aunt could live in the home, and then later found out that it expired and he had to renew it, so he obviously had to file his own application, so that's when he hired us.
Did you, I'm looking here for a copy of the prior grant. Looks like I might have it right here.
What's the case number?
I want to see the condition, case of the prior grant.
Mm-hmm.
727, presumably 727, she said it was granted in.
2013.
Yeah.
Expired in 2019.
Hold on.
That would have been
But in
14.
17, it was dismissed without prejudice. Just don't have the key. Okay. What led you to think it was approved in 2013?
Just the information I was given.
So,
I had that it expired in 2013.
oh, it expired in, I asked you when it was approved.
Oh, sorry, expired.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know-
it-
I don't know when it was approved.
Well, because I'd like to know how long it was used as a two-family as part of considering if it's in the character of the community. It looks like the grant was renewed. It was granted to 22403 at least with conditions. And then there was a renewal, it was case 647 on the renewal.
Well, it says right here on my, closed building permits, that in 1954, variance to convert a one-family dwelling to a two-family dwelling, temporary until 7/30/2013.
From 54.
From 54 to 13,
That's what I'm looking
Hell
at.
of a grant.
It wouldn't be granted like that. But either way, at the very least, looks like it was
60
granted way
60
back
years?
then.
Correct.
Used that way presumably since then, and I have piecemeal information here, but at the very least, we know that at some point it was granted to 2024-03 with conditions, and there was a renewal and a temporary grant to 13, which is when you indicated it expired.
It expired.
So
He
it's
didn't
been-
buy it until 2019.
Right, so it's been used as such, but then oddly enough, in 17, it appears like the renewal case was dismissed without prejudice. Because it wasn't non-renewed, it was dismissed because the owner didn't occupy it as required.
Oh, okay, so the
I just don't have
previous
that-
owner didn't occupy it.
Pardon me?
I said, so the previous owner didn't occupy it.
Right, I'm
Okay.
trying, did you find a copy of the conditions? Because I don't
No,
have it.
I only have the search sheet.
Because we're gonna need the conditions.
54.
Well, I guess we could just reimpose owner occupied. Is there a cellar entrance at the house? Is there a cellar?
An outside cellar,
Basement?
Yes.
You have a basement too?
Yeah.
What's in the basement?
It's just,
Can you speak into the microphone?
it's an open space. There, yeah, storage. Yeah, it's just that.
So where do you,
You have a three-piece bath down there?
Excuse me?
You have a bathroom down there, three-piece
Yeah,
bath?
Yes, I do.
okay, where do you live in the house?
On the main floor, on the first floor.
Above the basement?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
and then
my
you're
ancestors
upstairs?
upstairs. Yeah, they have their own like.
You gotta speak up.
They have their own electric line or
They
PSG
have-
account.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you bought the house,
Yeah.
was there a kitchen in the basement?
Yeah. I think there
Is
was.
there still a kitchen in the
I
basement?
think there is. Yeah, there is. There is.
You think there
There's-
is?
No, there is.
So there are 3 kitchens in the house?
Yeah.
But the kitchen basement is, the kitchen in the basement is being removed. It's part of our plan.
Do we have something indicating that?
Yeah.
I don't have a copy of the plan.
I don't see it.
Yeah, because there's a closed plumbing permit that says remove illegal kitchen and basement from 2017.
So, in 2017, they removed the kitchen and basement and closed the permit for that kitchen, and now there's one back in there?
I guess, yeah.
When you bought it, that kitchen was in there already? And who uses that space today?
I used to rent it before, but then I've been told that you can't do that. So it's, you know.
So the basement, you said, is one big open space, right?
Yeah.
Because on the plans, doesn't look like it. Looks like it's a bathroom, and a separate room is a kitchen, and then there's a utility room closed off. And
Well,
then
yeah,
there are
there-
2
there's
separate
walls, yeah.
rooms.
Yeah, there's walls there, yeah.
So it's basically an apartment again, even though allegedly the kitchen was torn out in 2017 and that permit was closed.
Yeah, it used to be an apartment, and I used to rent it out before, but then I've been told you can't do that, so I.
Who told you that?
Just like knowledge from family members and all that I can't do that.
Did you
so.
ever get any notice of a potential violation or any summons
For
about
the
it?
basement, no, I didn't.
Did the building department ever come out and ask you about it?
For the basement, no. I just
For any
got-
other part of the house?
It's just for the second floor. It said like it needs to, I need to update, like there was like violation notice for the second floor for the 2-family.
Was that violation from when you owned it?
Yeah, I
So
I
when
got
when the inspector came out to inquire about the second floor,
the inspector never came to inside the house. I just saw a notice, like a paper.
notice of
on-
potential violation?
Yeah, on the
So the
front door.
inspector never came in?
No.
You just followed up with the inspector?
Yeah,
Told
no.
him what was there? and-
Yeah, yeah. I just called them and they helped me out.
Did you ever get a violation for the downstairs
No,
apartment?
no, I did not.
Prior. All right, well. You said that part of this application was going to be removing the kitchen in the basement.
Yeah, we told him that it had to be removed.
Is there anywhere else that, like, have you filed for a permit to tear it out yet, or?
Well, once the two-family is issued, then we'll file the plumbing to have the plumbing removed. You know, because he can still keep it for storage, like the space. He just can't have the kitchen, so he can't have the sink, he can't have the stove down there. So they just have to
Is
remove
the
the
bathroom
plumbing.
otherwise, is the bathroom already legalized down there?
The bathroom, that I'm not sure of. Maintain finished bathroom with we have an open permit to maintain a finished basement with a three-piece bath and an outside entrance. So that's one of the permits that we need to close, along with maintain fencing. Those were taken out in 2016.
Well, that permit's closed, isn't it?
I'm reading it wrong. Yes, the basement with the three-piece bath and the outside entrance is closed, so it does have a permit to have the bathroom down there. I apologize, I read it wrong.
Yeah, you understand you cannot have anyone living in that basement.
Yeah, no, yeah, I've been told.
Okay, and will you agree that, once the kitchen is taken out, those walls will be taken down, so it's one room?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, whichever the plans say that we need to do, I have to do, yeah.
Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's going to be one of the conditions.
Yeah.
All right.
Any other questions from the board? Not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Graham, you and your client will both be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Next, we have case 47624 Oceanside, Kevin Conklin. Variances, lot area occupied, average front yard setback, maintained addition, and open porch, both attached to dwelling, also known as 55 Land Place.
Scott Tyrone, 75 Albertson Avenue, Albertson, New York, 11507.
Kevin Conklin, 412 Sawmill River Road, Millwood, New York. Good afternoon.
So again, I'm Scott Tyrone. I'm here representing Mr. Kevin Conklin, the owner of 55 Land Place in Oceanside, Section 43, Block 369, Lot 205, located in the Residence B District. We are here seeking two variances, one for the lot area occupied, and the second for the encroachment into a required front yard. The average front yard on the street is 23.3 feet, and our raised terrace has a front yard setback of 18.9 feet. The permitted lot coverage in the B zone is 27.5, and we're currently at 31.25%. Mr. Conklin's parents purchased the home in 1951, and around 1960, the house was elevated, and that's when the front terrace was added. The front yard of the house is compliant at 25 feet when the average is 23.3, but the terrace is what encroaches into the front yard. The terrace is 4'7" above grade, and that is because the house is elevated. If it was lower, it would, most likely would comply. If you've been to the house, you would notice the one to the left, number 51, has a wood terrace with railings around. It's basically the same size configuration as ours, but their house was not elevated, so theirs is below the 3 feet, which would be compliant. The house, like I said before, is slightly over the lot coverage. It's at 31.25, where 27.5 is required. This is an undersized lot for Residence B. We're only at 4,730 square feet, where 6,000 is the minimum. So it's a little trickier with the smaller lot. There was an addition to the house in 1982, and that was added without a permit, but it was added at the time. The owner of the house, the Conklin's daughter and her husband were tragically killed by a drunk driver, and the Conklins took in their 3 grandchildren and raised them. So they needed the additional space, hence they added an addition onto the house. That's the addition that we're here for now, yes. Before that addition, they were at 26.97% lot coverage, so they were under the 27.5. That addition is what put them over.
But that addition is
Part of what we're
only
legalizing.
creates the numbers you already gave us.
Yes. That addition, again, I mean, you can see one wall of it along the driveway side, but the majority is in the rear yard, and from the street, you don't even see that addition at all. And again, the complications of having an undersized lot at only 4,700 square feet, when you're only allowed 27.5%, it's a little bit of a hardship there when you're trying to, expand the house. And again, I'd just like to point out that there are other houses in the area that have, the similar front porch like the one next door, so it's not out of character for the neighborhood or anything like that.
Is that your case?
Yep.
Other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Each of you who have signed in will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Have a nice day.
Have a good day.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd love it. Go ahead.
Get to Doncaster by 5 and I can stay an hour.
I'm picking my wife up. All right, let's do decisions. So, start case 552 of 2024, Belmore Chamber of Commerce of the Belmores. Do I have any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
Didn't we do that?
That was, oh, that's right, that was from the bench. Levittown, Lorette Cantelmo, renewal of a grant to maintain 6-foot-high fence. There was an application for an appearance waiver, we granted it. Do I have any other comments from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion, file number 553 of 24, Levittown, Laura Canamello, renewal of grant to main 6-foot high, fence higher than pool installation area, et cetera, be granted as requested.
Second.
Temporary.
Temporary.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Case 554 of 24, Oceanside. Michael Torado, renewal of a grant to maintain pool and pool deck not permitted in the front yard. 6 and 9-foot high fence, larger than pool installation area and forward of the dwelling. There was also an appearance waiver granted on this. Do I have any other comments from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I have a motion to renew the grant to maintain a pool and deck not permitted in the front yard on Mystic Avenue with temporary conditions.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next case, 555, 2024, West Hempstead, Oscar and Rosa Coronel also asked for an appearance waiver, application for an appearance waiver, which was granted. It's a renewal of to maintain a 6-foot-high fence not permitted in the front yard on Maple Street. Do I have any comments from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 55524, West Hempstead, located at 402 Maple Street, be approved as requested.
Second.
Fence conditions, temporary.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 556 of 2024, Near Valley Stream, Marjorie Richards and Yvonne Richards, renewal of grant to maintain a 2-family, board inspected, and all the conditions previously imposed were complied with. No comments. Do I have a motion?
I move, Mr. Chairman, that 556 of 2024 Near Valley Stream, Marjorie Richards and Yvonne Richards be approved as requested, same conditions temporarily.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, case 557 of 2024, Belmore, Alfonso and Milan Nagai Marino, renewal of a grant to maintain a 5-foot-high fence. Today's fence day. Forward of the dwelling which may substantially obstruct line of sight. Application for an appearance waiver was granted. Do I have any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 557 of 2024. Location of property is 2877 Alder Road. Belmore be granted as requested with all fence conditions.
Second. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Next case, 558 of 2024, East Meadow. Turnpike Food Corp., DBA Grand Stage Diner, renewal of a grant to maintain one double-faced illuminated detached sign. Property address is 2490 Hempstead Turnpike. Do I have any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I have a motion, case 558 of 24 East Meadow, Turnpike Food Corporation, renewal of grant to maintain one double-faced sign, be granted as requested temporarily.
Second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Case 559 of 2024, 128 F Realty Corp., property located 3980 Austin Boulevard. It's also a renewal of a grant to maintain a sign. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I make the motion on case 559 of this year, 128 F Realty Corp., renewal of grant to maintain double-faced illuminated detached ground sign with same conditions.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Next case is 560 through 563 of 2024 Elmont. Delight Long Island LLC, DBA Wendy's. These are also renewal of grants for a sign, menu board, maintain third illuminated detached sign not permitted, 2 directional signs, a Wendy's logo sign at the entrance, and 2 illuminated directional signs at the exit. Do I have any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 560 to 563 of 24 Elmont, doing business as Wendy's Properties located at 199 Hempstead Turnpike, be approved as requested, temporary with sign conditions.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Cases 564 through 566 in Levittown, Michael and Doreen Harold, mother-daughter residence. Special exception to maintain an accessory structure, a shed. All right, well, less than required side yard. And special exception to maintain a third accessory structure, a pavilion, higher and larger. This is the pavilion, and I think I want to hold that because somebody should go out and look at it. This is, my recollection is, that was partially enclosed and partially open, is that right?
No,
Yes.
that's a different one. This is a different one.
Well, no, that was the person said that there would be, they would adhere to a condition that the pavilion would never be closed.
Enclosed, that's right.
Is this
Okay.
the one that has a few sheds?
Yeah, this is 31.93 on the letter.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, all right. I have a motion. Anybody have a motion
I'll
on this
move
case?
cases 564 through 566 of 2024, location of property 5 Tower Lane in Levittown, be granted as requested with all mother-daughter conditions, plus the agreed-upon condition that the pavilion would never be enclosed for living space.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, cases 567 through 569 in Merrick, Kevin and Donna Neely. Property address is 30 Buckingham Road. This one, he amended because there was an issue about the aggregate, and amend the caption to include a condition that the aggregate be amended, or the caption be amended to include the aggregate.
Oh, the next page.
Side yard aggregate. Yeah. Any other comments, questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion, Couture?
Oh, is that me?
Yeah. it's on
That
you
case
now.
567 of 24 and through 569 of 24, Kevin and Donna Neely, that it be approved as requested and that the caption, as the chairman indicated, be amended to include the side yard aggregate that was omitted as a technicality, but
Second.
otherwise shown on the materials.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Case 570 of 2024, Elmont, Jumeau, DBA Elmont Career Center. This is the one where they agreed to 10 to 15 people, not more than 15, plus one instructor at any given time. They're going to have no weekends, just Monday to Friday, 2 sessions, one beginning at 9 a.m., the second one at 4 p.m. I think Couture brought out the fact that we needed some numbers in terms of a parking variance, right?
Yeah, so we'll just use
Since
the-
we're waiving off-street parking, we'll use the calculations.
For the other structures, and then we'll use, I think the number will be 9. We went over that.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so that we can
right?
articulate it.
Do I have a motion?
With respect to CEQA, I move that we adopt a negative declaration as to the CEQA determination
Okay.
based on the testimony given, exhibits in the file, and other materials we have reviewed and analyzed.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, negative declaration adopted.
And then
And
with
then on-
respect to, again, case 570 of 2024, location of property, 475 through 479 of Hempstead Turnpike in Almont be granted as requested with all conditions applicable.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Case 571 of 24, North Belmore, Judith Robinson. This is lot area occupied, side yard aggregate, and this is the terrace that encroaches into the front yard. Do I have any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion, file 571 of 24 North Belmore, Judith Robinson, variance lot area occupied, side yards aggregate, be granted as requested with all conditions.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Cases 572 and 573, that's the one that is a little higher than it actually should be. I'm going to hold that case. I want to look at that. I've got some issues. Case 574 of 2024, Merrick Temple Bethlehem, the Reformed Jewish Congregation of Merrick and Belmore, Inc. This is a sign case, one double-faced detached illuminated reader board sign. How often do we want them to change the information on the sign?
Not more than some number, I mean,
Should be a minute and a half.
Minute, 2 minutes.
okay, let's make it
2
two.
minutes. Okay. That's a condition. With that condition, does someone want to make a motion?
I make a motion, case 574-24 Merrick, Temple Beth,
Temporarily.
the Reformed Jewish Congregation of Merrick and Belmore, that we maintain a one double-faced detached illuminated reader board sign with 5 years with conditions.
Not change more frequently than 2 minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 575, 2024 Heath and Michelle Zimmerman, lot area occupied, side yard aggregate. There was a prior grant on this case. Do I have any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 575 of 24 Heath and Michelle Zimmerman, located at 599 Church Avenue, be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, any abstention? Case 1387 of 2024 was granted from the bench. All right, case 37724, that's going to be held. There are a lot of issues with regard to
Yeah,
that case.
we're gonna need to pull the
Yeah.
actual approved, no, that's not the one we have, we need to pull the approved plans.
The conditions,
Yeah, we
plus,
need to look at it.
plus, another condition, he's got to remove any partitions before we're going to grant them
Yeah,
anything.
I think that maybe we have you let them know that we're gonna hold this case until I don't know, I'm not sure of the exact procedural mechanism, but I think we have them apply for, and if they can, at least get the kitchen out and the walls removed in the basement before we even consider applying,
Right.
approving a use variance for a two-family. And maybe get an inspector in there. I mean, imagine in 2017, they opened a permit to take out the illegal kitchen, closed the permit for that kitchen.
Put it back
Yeah,
in.
and I would like, if it's easy to do, I'd like to see if the building department, he said they left a notice of potential violation, but have never been in. The reason I ask is, an inspector would have looked downstairs too. Sure. So I think that, I'd like to see what kind of activity the building department has on this case. Agreed, that's why I wanted to know if the building inspector came in. That's why, exactly. Yeah,
And
maybe
exactly.
we should
He
send.
admitted he
Yeah,
used to
you know what,
rent it.
that's a good idea, let's send the building inspector out. Can we do that? And then let's look at what digital evidence we can gather as to what is there and what's been.
He was testifying, he was very vague. First he said it was open downstairs. then he
That's
said-
why I followed up on it, because,
And every time we thought of it,
She's a little bit of a dingbat, too.
yeah, I think we send the building inspector, and we also check what's already in the system as to what's been going on there. They take out a little kitchen in 2017, and then by 19, when he buys it, it's back in.
Can we impose a condition that he agree to have a building department representative inspect every 6 months?
Well, I think we have every right to have
I'd
a
like to
building
put that one on this
I
one.
think a building inspector has a right to enter now. He's told us there are 3 kitchens. We need a building inspector to go in
Oh,
and
yeah,
look at the whole
but
house.
that's now.
And then we start the process of
You
removing
know
that
what,
kitchen.
you know what's going to happen.
My suggestion would be if we do send the building department out, we go with them.
Okay.
You like that, right?
I like
mean,
it. Go.
You like that.
All right, next case.
I just think that's,
Okay. Sick the doggies. All right.
I'm on borrowed time.
476-24 Oceanside, Kevin Conklin. Variance lot area occupied, average front yard setback, maintain an addition, an open porch attached to the dwelling. Any comments? If not, do I have a motion?
Is it my turn?
Oh, was it me?
Somebody?
Okay, I'll do it. Mr. Chairman, as it relates to 476 of 24, Oceanside, Kevin Conklin, as you've described it, properties at 55 Land Place in Oceanside, I move that it be approved as requested.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Case 706 of 2023, this case was restored to the calendar. West Hempstead Chameleon Event Space. All right, this is a renewal of a grant to use the place for public assembly and amusement. I think we should verbalize what they're going to use it for, and more importantly, what they're not going to use it for. It is not really going to be a cabaret with, correct?
Right. It's like a...
Event space.
It's an event,
space,
it's a
yes.
private event space.
It's not
Yeah,
open to public.
and he's going to apply for parking variance separately.
Okay.
Somebody want to make that motion? No, nobody wants to
Wait.
make the motion? You're going to approve it as a private event space and not as a cabaret. We'll clarify that.
Wait, we did three...
Yeah.
We already did 706.
No.
Oh, okay. I move that case 706 of 20... Did you say hold it? No, I said 2023 Chameleon Event Space be approved temporarily as requested with a draft to be prepared by council of the board articulating what the testimony reflected will actually be going on there.
Yep. Okay?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Anything on page 1 on reserve?
I have nothing on page 1.
Okay. Page 2.
Yes, I have an update on cases 240 and 242 of 24. We were awaiting elevation plans and reversion plans. We had told the applicant that they had 60 days to provide same, otherwise their case would be dismissed without prejudice. They have submitted the elevation plans, and the reversion plans were on, so I believe, you guys would like to take a look. The house is under 30 feet. The elevation, as you can see, back here. You can see right over here, it's 23 feet, 6 7/8 inches.
What is this case, Ron?
This was a mother-daughter,
Check your text.
and then these were the reversion plans.
Oh, this is the one we were waiting for those?
Correct,
Yeah.
and they've submitted everything at this point.
Okay. Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll do it if you just give me the case number.
It is just
Okay. Okay, as it relates to cases 240 through 244, and Kevin and,
242.
I'm sorry, 242 Kevin Deslandis, I guess, and Doreen King Deslandis. It's a mother-daughter request. The property's at 58 Spring Lane in Levittown. We were waiting for the elevation and reversion plans. We have now received those, so I move that we approve the cases as requested.
Temporarily. It's a mother-daughter.
Well, the mother-daughter's already temporary without saying it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Prozac. Every time I look at that name, it evokes certain things.
We are
Mind you,
still,
picking up your prescription.
we are still awaiting,
Okay.
yeah.
Whatever.
Labreezy, okay, so, I believe at the last hearing, I had given everybody
Draft.
a copy of the draft decision, which I believe everyone liked on 78, but then I was asked to do a draft on the fencing. So the applicant actually had submitted an amended plan where you can see it's color-coded here. They are willing, we spoke to them yesterday, the 6-foot fence would be set back at least 9 feet from the property line.
Okay.
And they're willing to put a 4-foot, they would like a 4-foot fence, see-through, that goes to the front.
To be kept that way.
So they agreed to this.
Perfect.
Okay,
So we can-
great.
I did do,
That already includes
It
this?
includes all that.
Okay, can I just make a motion, we adopt this?
Make it.
Okay, as it relates to cases 378 through 379 of 2024, Daniel Labrizzi, the property is at, I thought it was at 18, but I can't, 16 Leamington Street in Lido Beach. I move that we adopt the decision prepared by council reflecting the board's prior decision.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
The fence is temporary, correct?
Yep.
Temporary, yes.
Okay.
Anything
The
else
fence
on
that's
that page?
temporary. Well, we only need to make this one temporary, because that's the only one we can't have to keep small like that, right? Like, this is already 6 feet,
Yeah.
but we are granting it that far forward. All right, we can make them both temporary.
Temporary.
Okay, make sure they don't push it out. Plus, like,
Anything on 412?
412, no.
I
Okay.
actually looked at that one.
And?
Does anyone, well, we'll do that next
Okay.
time. I don't,
I'm going to hold this one.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah, that one had height. I need to review the
Yeah.
testimony.
Okay, we'll hold it. Anything else on page 3?
3. I have,
What about that East Atlantic Beach? There's 2 of them. Yeah, well, wait, which one did you do?
447.
Okay, let's do them. Okay, let's do them.
Mike.
Index number 447 of 24, I make a motion, East Atlantic Beach, 117 Bay Street and 121 Bay Street, LLC variances, side yard, aggregate, be granted as requested with conditions.
Second.
What conditions?
What conditions?
No.
Well, no, new home conditions, it's construction.
Okay,
Oh,
no, I didn't mean
okay.
if you had specific. I second.
No, I thought the houses in that area were all close to each other, and,
Second.
That's the one you showed me, right?
yes.
That's the one you showed. Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Going to have a big house.
Next
there.
one.
Spent a lot of money.
And then you did 529 too, right?
529.
Okay.
So,
Any update on 529?
Yeah, I didn't do this
What do
one.
you think?
I thought it was fine.
You want to make a motion?
Well, should we,
Wait, what?
Wait,
should we?
three-story with balconies.
FEMA 3, so if you'd like, we can do the
Yeah.
explanation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can make the motion, Mark.
I make a motion on file number 529 of 24, 530 of 24, East Atlantic Beach, 88 Rochester Avenue. Variances, lot area, front width be granted as requested with conditions, right?
Second.
All in favor?
Oh, you seconded.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Belmore, 53438,
We have an update. We went and inspected it.
and?
And there were, so I know Mr. Pellegrini had a little question about there's a side entrance that, there's a landing when you enter the side, and then there's a staircase to go up and a staircase to go into the basement. So we went into the house. It's a legal 2-family home. It was a laundry room in the basement. There was nothing that we saw that was out of,
Offensive.
yeah.
So
He's a classic car.
John and I are going to be out on that case, so you four do it.
Okay, 534 through 538. Anybody want to make a motion?
I move case 534 to 538 of 24 Belmore Mary Donato located at 2470 Grand Avenue be approved as requested
Second.
with 2-family home
Second.
conditions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I did do the draft on 5:45, and I emailed it to everybody last week. I don't know if anyone had a chance
I
to.
did.
I did not. I didn't see. I've been out of town.
Do you want
And this was the one where, I believe it was Ms. Pangala, I distinguished what was open space and what was actual structure. So that's what it is.
Okay.
Want to adopt that?
I would, I might as well.
Hmm?
Someone
Okay,
want-
with respect to case.
545.
545 at 2024. Location of property, 35 West Boulevard. I move to accept the draft decision with respect to that case.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anything else? What happened to Pizzarusso? We still didn't get plans?
So so this is, we were able to find plans. We actually got them from the architect, but we were not able to find any plans that were stamped approved by us. So we don't know if the file was never closed out, and it just got lost somewhere or whatnot, but it was never scanned into the system.
And that means, I can't recall, that means what to us?
Well, because we were asking for the original plans that we had approved, 'cause if I'm not mistaken, this is the case where they added a breezeway now and built a second garage, and this garage has a second story with now it has a...
Oh, I remember it, it's on the left.
And what we were asked in the office was to find a copy of the original plans that we saw when we originally granted a variance years ago. So
And that's not doable.
well, we were able to get plans from the architect, but we weren't able to get the plans stamped, filed.
We don't know what was approved.
Correct.
And, but for that, do we have an issue with this?
Well, there's a two-story garage with a playroom.
Playroom.
Above it.
That one.
Everything was, it's no CO?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
There's no CO, is there?
My understanding is there's no CO, because I don't think they ever closed out what we
You know,
granted.
given that it's in Belmore, let's wait till Joe's here. He might have, you know.
That's not one that didn't they close living space, the garage in the house?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah,
And they
I-
added that breezeway, and they built that two-story garage.
Yeah, I remember with the playroom.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hold for JP.
yeah. I'm remembering the house now.
We're going to hold that
All
for
right,
JP.
administrative.
Patrick?
We received letters from the opposition, their attorney. They're still in opposition to the new changes that Kent has made.
Is that, are they, does the new proposal still have 3 stories?
Yes.
I mean, I think that's, and that's what the opposition is, one of the things it's focusing on.
That was one of the items that they're focusing in on.
I too have an issue with that in a residential neighborhood. I don't think that is protected by our LUPA's, deferential mandate. I think that it's out of character, and I don't think it's necessary to have 3 stories in order to carry out the worship element of, the protected worship element. So I guess we'll all just read over these.
And I think council should contact the attorney for the applicant and perhaps have a little discussion.
And I assume they already got a copy of the letter, but yeah. Sure. Maybe you could indicate to the applicant,
The reservation.
the reservations
Board's
the board has.
reservations.
Sure.
Anything else
And see what
administrative?
they can come up with. Are they timely?
They're timely. Most of them are first requests.
Yeah, 1366. I don't know if I passed it.
That's the other one.
All right, well, doesn't look bad on the outside. Okay, six requests for extension of time, all timely. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are to secure permits, and they've never had one yet, so we don't have an issue of it looking bad. And one is to start construction. Also, it's first, so I think those are all fine.
How long?
One of them, start.
6.
I think 9.
6.
All right, so those four, okay, let's do it this way. BZA 692, BZA 77 and 78. Oh, no, I apologize. 692, 57, 58, 77, 78, 1382, and 221. Those are all either secure permits or start construction. I move we give them 6 additional months to secure permits and or start construction. Is there a second?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
The other
opposed?
one is to complete construction. It's a Ansai Shalom congregation. It was approved in '21. They provided photographs showing that it's not unsightly, it's well-kept. Should we give them 9 months to complete the construction? Or 6 also?
As long as you compromised on the 6, I'll
All
compromise
right,
on the
9 months to complete construction, that's case 1366. I presume they're all 2023 cases. But
Second.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Anything else? Somebody should move to adjourn. Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm going to use the restroom. John, you're going to pick up Corolla? Yeah.